So I'm Andy Aitken. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Honest Mobile. And before I set up Honest Mobile, I spent a good chunk of time at Deloitte, about 10 years. I actually started as a school leaver back on the Deloitte Scholar Program, came back to Deloitte each summer through university, and then spent about 8 years in Deloitte in a bunch of different teams. Qualified as an accountant and left when I was a senior manager. I am, like you say, co-founder and CEO of Honest Mobile. We're the UK's first net zero mobile network. We're net zero, we're a B Corp, and so that means we have triple bottom line reporting baked into the business legally. So we're legally required to think about people, planet, and profit in all the decisions we make. The carbon emissions of communications and the internet, which most people access through a mobile phone, is projected to be about 15% of global emissions by 2040. And so it's great that we can now Zoom people instead of flying to Hong Kong for a meeting or wherever it might be. But it doesn't mean there's not a carbon footprint of that activity. And so what we do as a business is we try and reduce that carbon footprint as much as possible. And where we can't reduce it, we remove it. We actually remove it twice over. We calculate that carbon footprint and then we double it. And we remove it twice through a combination of 3 different technologies. So we plant trees, we use direct air capture, and we create biochar. My time at Deloitte was unquestionably really helpful. I qualified as an accountant, which certainly a lot of our investors like. That's definitely been really helpful, and having a kind of basic grounding in finance and business has been really helpful. One of the projects that I spent 2 or 3 years on was in financial services, but it fundamentally pinned around telecoms. And so that gave me a really good technical understanding actually of back-end telephony. It's very useful to understand how a telephone system works if you want to run a mobile network. Deloitte was great in that transition. I had already switched team internally. Once I'd gone into a ventures team, which was really exciting. And that gave me the opportunity to work with lots of high growth startups, which I guess was probably the genesis for wanting to set up my own business or wanting to co-found a business. The thing I enjoy most about the role is the sheer breadth of it. So over the course of a week, I might be meeting investors, I might be doing some coding, I might be recruiting a new person into the customer support team, I might be finding a new office. But it's also some of the real kind of pragmatism that comes with being a founder. Like, I also loaded the dishwasher this morning and changed the coffee filters, and it all sounds really stupid, but actually doing those things and doing it in your own business or in a business that you have a lot of responsibility for gives you a lot of ownership and a lot of kind of pride, I suppose, about what you're building. I've been back to lots of the TMT events with Paul Lee, which are always really interesting. I've always been kind of into technology anyway, so I thought it was always a really interesting annual publication. But getting invited back to the events is a lot more fun these days. And we've actually got some Deloitte employees who I knew at the time, who are customers now, who I still speak to, which is always quite fun. And certainly some of the team that I worked with who are now alumni as well, I'm also in touch with too. We've all got to do something. And so I think having a plan, setting a goal, a really ambitious goal, and getting started are the best things that you can do. All done?
Thank you.